gears now and focus the conversation. I said my guest this morning is someone who's very loaded because we're examining the place of inland waterways in the blue economy equation of Nigeria. And guesting, I do not know what to refer to him. Maybe captain or prof. All right, he's Captain Oluwasegun Oniye. He was Secretary General of Merchant Seafarers Association of Nigeria. He's an expert in maritime security and safety. And like I said, he's a professor too when you talk about maritime affairs. Nice to have you in the building, Captain Oniye. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Victor.
And how are you doing?
Very well. Bless God.
Wonderful. So, what should I refer to you? Is this captain or professor? Which of them would you prefer?
I don't know where you want to start from because I just graduated as a law student.
Okay, from which school?
Yeah, City University.
Right. And I hear you're a professor is it from that school?
Yeah, professor of security management and counter-terrorism.
Wonderful.
City University, Cambodia.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I also have in your resume too. You have a doctor in maritime security.
Safety, yes. I also have a doctor in security management and counter-terrorism management.
So you're an egghead when you talk about the maritime sector.
Yeah.
And you've been doing this for how many years?
One thing you need to understand is not how long, but how well.
How well?
I try to give myself too much of studies.
Right.
I enjoy acquiring knowledge a lot.
And I can see
I
that.
dig deep 247. I don't sleep, and I can categorically tell you that I spend 18 hours of my time mostly researching.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Which is good.
And just of recent, we just developed a new faculty. There's a faculty for maritime and security studies for the entire world. What about 10 departments?
Okay.
Right, at City University. Just last week, the committee for research and evaluation just approved MSc Maritime, MSc Marine and Blue Economy study, which is first of its kind in the entire world.
Because it's new.
Yes, it's new. Because we can't have a ministry for marine and blue economy without having a course that can complement it, because we discovered that even majority of people who are trying to come into this ministry, some of them don't really understand what this entails. So it's necessary that we go fully into research and so that we can have something that will guide them.
Which is very good. And that's where I'm going to be taking off from.
And that's exactly what the advanced world has embraced.
Right. Exactly. And that's where I'm going to be taking off from Captain Niye this morning, because the year is very, very young. It's brimming with life and vitality. And this is the time to project into the great opportunities that lie ahead. But first things first, let's take some little time to just reflect on the maritime sector in the past 12 months. How would you describe it? How would you assess it?
In the past 12 months?
Yes.
Well, I don't want to dabble into this administration yet.
Okay.
But I would say maritime has been in comatose.
Comatose?
Yes, if you want to argue with me, you can go to court.
Yes, we can. And I'm ready to. This is the law court right here.
I can categorically tell you that the maritime has been underperforming.
Why? Why is that so?
It's because when you have people who are not involved, who don't understand what it takes to run an industry like that, definitely it will be a mess.
Right.
You know, this maritime has 3 categories of qualifications. We have the academics, we have the professional, we have the operational.
Right.
So when people are just academics, trying to manage the professional aspect of it or manage the operational aspect of it, it will definitely, you won't get a good result. Right. That's what I've noticed. Most of them managing the industry, how many of them have sailed before in their life? How many of them have operational experience? You see, you don't learn driving in the class. You learn it on the field. Right. And when you don't know how to drive, you can't teach people. And that's exactly what is happening.
Yeah, but some will argue that, when you have this kind of positions, we have people who are professionals, there's people who are academics, that you said, but you can match them, or perhaps you can bring them. It's just about managing people and managing resources. Is that not the idea?
Yeah, it's normal when you are not too political about it. You see, you can appoint anybody to head an agency, but let the person surround himself with professional and operational people who understand the terrain.
Is that not what's happening?
That's not what is happening.
Why do you say that?
I can categorically tell you. I've looked at the whole show, look at everything. Before this administration came on board, Let me tell you something.
Right.
Maritime has been a mess. Do you know what it means for us to be losing $100 billion yearly, and we are borrowing? That is what we are losing in that industry.
And you mean that this?
I can just politically tell you and give you blueprint of how this money is actually going out.
Talk to me.
I'm telling you, because you are losing. Why are we borrowing? Nigeria is too loaded. Maritime is Nigeria's central bank. The economy is strictly untapped. We will not even touch it. We are still talking about oil. Did you know that 80% to 90% of what we consume in this country we import it?
Right.
We've not even talked about shipping. We've not even done anything in the maritime. And we are saying, hey, the way we are going about this whole show,
right?
We just keep putting the country in a serious mess.
Which is quite unfortunate, really.
Maritime has the capacity to create jobs for nothing less than 500,000 Nigerians.
Okay, you're going to break this down for us, Katoni, because a lot of times when you come on the program, I always love this kind of dialogue that we have. When you say it is loaded, you say it is a lot. We're losing a lot, like $100 billion.
Exactly.
You will tell us how we're losing that. But last year, as soon as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came in, he created the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. Are you saying that didn't stand out for you last year?
As I speaking, he has taken a very, very good step for creating that, because this administration believes so much in that industry. But I know to some extent his hands might be tight because of some political interest. So speaking, the president, I am not trying to speak for him. I'm not campaigning for anybody. But the truth is, he has the interest of the maritime at heart.
Right.
And that was why they created that ministry. And appointing people like somebody like Oyetola. Oyetola is not a politician. That guy is good to go. He's a leader who is ready to listen.
He's a politician.
I don't want to call him because I have met him time with that number. We've talked.
Maybe you can call him a political economist.
And that the fact that one thing I can tell you about him is one of the key principles and good of a leadership is to listen. In listening to you, is somebody you cannot impose. You can't impose ideas on. In listening to you, you filter it. And I must tell you, there's going to be a change in the industry. It might take time because now maritime need overhauling, and that is what this administration is doing.
All right.
Serious overhauling.
All right.
Changing every necessary leaders, every necessary leadership in that maritime.
Okay, but someone said it's not all about leadership. It's about the will. It's about putting in place the resources. It's about the government realizing what the industry portends and then putting the infrastructure that is needed to guide it.
It's still boiled down to leadership. Don't tell me as at now the government know what the maritime is loaded with. But when you have the wrong people to manage it, definitely they won't manage it well.
Let's join a bit on the inland waterways, which we are trying to prospect this morning. How would you assess inland waterways in Nigeria?
You want me to talk?
Talk to me.
You see, this inland waterway, since I would say inland waterway has been operating below their expectation. In fact, if we really want to go deep into inland waterway should be earning more than what the master is generating. Yes, I can categorically tell you.
You can say that.
I can categorically tell you that.
Well,
it's because inland is just to tap into the resources. Inland is just to harness the potential. Do you know how the large, vast waterfront we have in Nigeria? And we still have congestion. If inland is actually working, we are not going to have congestion at the port. Why? Because we are going to have inland ports. When the bigger ship brings in the container,
right,
bring the load, the inland vessel will pick up those cargoes and take it to the inland port to reduce the congestion.
Right.
So that's normal. That's normal. Now the funniest thing is there are some goods that are not supposed to be going through the road.
Okay.
Yeah. When the bigger ship brings to Apapa or Ibejuleke deep seaport, an inland vessel is supposed to pick up those cargo, either take it to Ondo State, Ibokoda, or you take it to Lokoja, or you take it to Iwokun Waterside. Do you know that Iwokun Waterside has the capacity to accommodate the largest seaport in Africa? That is the Iwokun Water, that is the J4.
Right.
Now the point is, if your product or your product is not staying within Lagos, your truck does not have business in Lagos. If Iwokun Waterside port is functioning,
right.
If Ibokoda is functioning, which is inland port, If your cargo is not staying within Lagos, your truck does not have business in Lagos.
Right.
When they discharge in Afapa, another smaller boat pick up that cargo, take it to Igbokoda. You know that there are channels you can follow that only takes you 4 hours to get to Lokoja through the sea. So why do you seem to go to road? I will say inland has not really been working.
Which is very, very true, because
Exactly.
from the suspect we see that it's not been performed. But we have an agency. There's an agency that regulates inland waters in Nigeria. They're called the National Inland Waterways Authority. How would you assess them?
And that's why we, I say, having the new administration and the new leader in the new one now, which is the person of Oyebanji.
That's right.
I get his commitment might change some things in Newa, because I can see his commitment. Yeah, it will change something because of the attention the minister is giving to Daniel and the attention the president is giving to Maritime now. There's going to be a change in this administration. This administration, they are just coming in, and what they met on ground is a mess. What they met on ground is a dead Maritime.
All right.
And that's why we have to have a ministry that will go on.
But I don't want to dwell on the past. Let's look at how we can project forward. So, as we speak today, just about 3,000 kilometers of navigable waters.
Yes.
Doesn't that sound quite unfortunate that in our how many years of existence, with all the vast water resources that we have, we've not been able to really develop the infrastructure for inland waterways transportation? Why is that so, Captain Oniye?
Do you know that to develop the maritime in Nigeria, we don't even need government funding. Inland can generate at least 10 to 20 billion.
So I need you to break that down for our listeners. When you say, because when you mention these figures, it looks as if you're just concocting them.
You see, all the government need is just to create an enabling environment.
Okay.
Yes. Create an enabling environment for business to survive. There are investors outside who want to come in. But the point is, they know the water is not that safe. And they know the maritime is controlled by the machineries, in quotes. They know. And they know everything in that place is political. There are policies that will not allow them to come in. And that's why we're saying, if the backwater is porous, how do you expect investors to come in and invest? That's why I said it is compulsory we have a Coast Guard. We have Coast Guard in place that can be under the supervision of the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy.
Okay.
Definitely, we can assure investors that, hey, our inland and backwater is safe. Because we have an agency that can complement the Defense Navy. Defense Navy take care of the defense, take care of territorial water, while the Coast Guard take care of the inland water. So if you build the security at the territorial water, you will not build the security at the inland water. And mind you, Coast Guard is going to be mounted by serious technology that you can sit in the comfort zone of your office and see everything that is happening in that inland water. That water. So what we are saying is enabling environment. You know, here we have investors that can create, that can establish like 5 to 10 inland ports. Do you know what that costs? Do you know how many jobs you will create? Do you know how much you will generate at no cost to the government? Do you know what it means? There's a law called Cabotage Act.
Right.
And the Cabotage Act, the 4 pillars that establish Cabotage Act says any ship that will sail within the Nigeria must be built in Nigeria, registered in Nigeria, owned by Nigeria, and manned by Nigeria. So if it is built in Nigeria, ship building in Nigeria alone can create just for nothing less than 10,000 Nigeria. Ship building in Nigeria alone can generate nothing less than, if I say 10 billion, I'm just trying to patch it.
That's conservative.
Because this money is going out. And 80% of ships sailing within Nigeria, but sailing within Nigerian waters are not built here, are not even owned by Nigerians. Now, the second part say it must be owned by Nigeria. We have Nigeria's investors, Nigerian billionaires who takes their money out, they will keep the money here. And another part say it will be registered in Nigeria. Do you know what it costs to register ship? Another thing is it should be manned by Nigeria. Do you know what it means? That if it is manned by Nigeria, means Nigeria will be the one to work on board.
Right. So
and you know how many it will create job for?
Right. So lots and lots of benefits that are inherent in all of this, like you said. But as it stands today, the infrastructure is very, very weak. To navigate through those waterways, little confidence from people, and that is why we're having low investment in that regard. But of course, we're going to be projecting forward. Let's talk about some of the things that we've seen, especially in recent time. Captain Oniye, you sail on the waterways quite a lot. We've seen lots of mishaps on those waterways, even from the locals, the states, and all of that. Is that absence of regulation, or perhaps maybe the conflict between the states and the national inland waterways is responsible for this high incidence of mishaps on the waterways? What's your thinking?
I really don't think that, because it's just like they both have a law that established them. It's just for you to work within your scope of law. That's all you need. They both have their mandate. And I always enjoy something that two parties can reach agreement without even going to court. Not all matter goes to court. But this judgment has just motivated or just back up Niwa to say, Niwa, it's time for you to sit tight and take up the full responsibility of what you should be doing. Now look at the whole issue that happens in Anambra.
Right.
Somebody has came out to say the boat's accident was caused by a snag, that the boat ran into snag. That means the channels are not safe for navigation,
right? Which
is basically one of the responsibility of NIWA to make sure the water channels are safe for navigation. That means somebody has about this responsibility, and I don't want to put the blame on this administration.
Okay.
Because if the zonal head there is actually doing this job, what is SNAC doing in that channel? I mean, he has not been working.
Right.
Or possibly he does not understand that it is dangerous for us to have SNAC in the channel.
Now,
apart from that,
right.
Now when I look at the whole show, look at the story, look at the boat, and I said, no, this game is not just about SNAC. Maybe somebody is trying to say government, it's like we need money to clear this channel to be safe for navigation.
That's
because
right.
The whole, when I look at the boat, that accident wasn't just caused by SNAC. It was actually caused by overloading. How can a wooden boat be carrying 50 passengers?
Right. Now, and that's not the first of its kind, because
how can it? But before, even if there's a snag there, no matter how small the snag can be, if the boat is not overloaded, if you run into snag, you can capsize. If the boat is not overweighted on one side, if you run into snag, you can capsize. If the boat is not overspeeding or reckless steering, it can't capsize.
All right.
So why are you putting? Let me just categorically say that what Mr. Jibri has said was just to indict the agency to say they need fund to do that. I tell you, to clear that channel, to just remove that snag, they have equipment, not until they have fund.
All right, Lagos Traffic Radio, 96.1 FM. Maritime today, if you're wondering who's speaking so eloquently on the program, Captain Oluwasegun Oniye. Well, he prefers to be called the captain, but he's also an academician in the maritime industry, so we can refer to him as a professor of safety and security matters in the marine world. All right, if you want to also share your sentiments on the program, feel free to do so on 08099120777. That's 08099120777. Captain Oniye, last week the Supreme Court laid the age-long battle on the control of the inland waterways to rest by declaring that the federal government has exclusive rights of administration on the inland waterways. So NIWA is given that exclusive powers. What do you make of that judgment, and what's the implication of that on inland waterways?
That's just to tell NIWA that, hey, stand up to your responsibility. Stop giving excuse. It's time for you to work. You have this power in your hand now. Work and make Nigeria proud.
So, if you were to speak with Oyebanji right now, if you were to sit with him one-on-one, what would you give him that would really trigger 360 degrees development of the industry this year?
Surround yourself with professionals, operational people who understand the terrain. Then run with the vision of the Mr. President. And that's all you need.
Professionals?
Yes.
Operationals?
One thing I've learned about leadership is when you are coming into a system, it's not necessarily use people you have met there. It's very important. You need to look inward, look outside. and giving the best. And I see the Banji that I know is a listening person. And I definitely know he's going to make a change in Newa because he's not taking it lightly. I'm not speaking for him. I'm not saying because he's my friend, but the truth is that the Banjo that I know,
right,
he is not somebody you can be fraudulent around him.
All right, let me say there's some messages that are coming in here for you, Captain Zuni. I don't know if they're going to attack you. This one says, "Good morning, Victor and the prof in the studio. My name is Ejiro. My question is, why aren't young Nigerians given the opportunity to practice professionally in the maritime space in Nigeria?" Ejiro is saying this, or he's sending this one in. Is that very correct, that young Nigerians are not given the opportunity?
Yes, I would say, everything in Nigeria is political. Yeah, everything in Nigeria is political. I'm obsessed with you. And people have asked me several questions, questions like this before. Why are you not taking up an appointment at the federal level? People like you should be this, we are there. I said, see, we have built the name, and we don't want that name to be mixed. We have track record.
Yeah, but you can put all that you've learned.
So the best we can do is to support the government. If the government needs us, they know how to find us.
Yeah, but they could give you an appointment.
The government will not say they don't know us.
So let me ask you. So
my question is, don't stay outside and expect things to happen inside. What is wrong with our young people is that they stay outside. And the real politics in Nigeria needs the contribution and the involvement of the young people. Most of them are running away from Nigeria. And the point is, if all of us have to japa, who will make the country work? And that's the point. With all my qualifications, I wasn't even school there. I serve under the American leaders as an anti-piracy security expert and one of the best anti-piracy in the world. America discovered me. My employment is under Virginia, but I didn't stay in America. I serve as a professor, as an associate professor at City University, Cambodia, and I'm still here developing curriculum. I just finished lecture this morning with my master's student and a PhD. So the game is, you don't need to leave this country. If you leave your father's house for bastard to take over, they will mess it up. And the game is, when you are not involved, how would they know your potential? You see, they assured you that I know. There's no professionals that are within the party that assured you does not give opportunity to serve. That I can tell you, unless the one does not know.
So let me ask you today. So if you are called for appointment today, I'm sure you will not reject it, will you?
I will wait. What I will do, I will wait, because sometimes you will have to ask yourself, why am I doing this? So much when I say I wait, I ask myself, I know what I earn as a professor. I know what I earn as an anti-piracy. Am I going there because of money? Will they allow me to work? And sometimes there are some things, there are some appointments you don't take because it will destroy the record you have built.
Yeah, but some will say young people have been given opportunity to aspire in this administration, and you've seen what has happened. This week, you saw what happened to the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs. So if you even bring it to the maritime world, we see what happened in some time past when some chief executives who were quite young were also inducted in one way or the other. So what is it that we're saying about young people not giving the opportunity?
The game still remains that when you have something to offer, you will offer it. Then to be sincere with yourself, if you don't need to lobby, you won't get to the position and compromise. And that's exactly what I've seen that is happening. You see, if I become a governor today,
right,
I can say, keep the salary. People don't know that appointment is a power to create wealth.
Right.
If I become the master DG today, I can say, keep the salary.
All right.
Because I have what it takes to make a statement and take action with that statement.
Let's take it home this morning.
6 months is all I need. I will put the industry in shift.
Time really not our friend this morning, Captain Oniye. But in running of the inland waterways, what are your projections this year? Do you think we can really get it right in 2024?
We might. But I still want to believe all hands are on deck, because the minister is not really sleeping and the president is not listening. We don't think the president, I'm not speaking for him,
right, but
the truth, his hands are tight. It needs us to be his hand and his leg.
All right.
We just need to be involved. It is necessary for us to have this mentality that this country belongs to all of us. Be involved. You can't be governing my life, and when it is not okay by me, I should talk.
Okay.
You are not doing well, I should say you are not doing well. But the truth is, the president that I know and the minister that I know, see, they need you as their hand and as their leg.
All right.
And they will do something this year.
We'll leave it at that for now because of time, really. Captain Oluwasegun Oniye is, of course, a professor of maritime security and safety, and he's been speaking so eloquently this morning on the program. Let me say a big thank you to you for making it through to the program. Okay, then, so we have to go. The program has been produced by Mike James. Maximum thanks to Rebecca Adamu, who is head assistant director public relations for the Nigerian Shippers Council. Not forgetting the executive secretary himself, talking about Pius Akuta. All right, then next Wednesday, the program makes a return. But till then, you can connect with the Shippers Council on all their platforms at NG Shippers. My name is Victor Oteri. Have a great weekend.
Nigerian Shippers Council, they to serve you well. No matter the problem, we go solve it for you. Yes, so the Nigerian Shippers Council, they feel in a parole now for every level. And as our boats, they move from port A, go enter port B, with the measure within an need. For the Nigerian Shippers Council, we don't shop proper to fit hear you weller, work with you weller, and help you fit serve your customers them better, no matter where they day. As we country port economic regulator, the Nigerian Shippers Council get every now to fit make government consider the problem when shippers them the face. Visit we office store number 4 or to buy your daily show your daily. Papa email us for nsc@shipperscouncil.gov.ng. The website now www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng. Allow us on top 0818-888-8895 or 0703-584-6468. Nigerian Shippers Council with a meeting for the port of the name.